Hello everyone, welcome to all. In this session, we are going to discuss about the few more concepts of torque sensors. Already we have discussed in the same concepts in the previous session also. Here in this session, we are going to discuss about the few more concepts of, regarding torque sensors. Okay. Up to now, we have discussed about the torque measurement using the torsion bar here. So by using of initially by using the prony tape break the dynamometer, we just gone through the measurement of torque by using simple strain gauges. Okay, so and then next prony after the prony break the dynamometer or prony break torque meter, and then later we gone through the strain gauges, torque measurement by using strain gauges in this also. So we are only just providing four strain gauges which are placed over the surface of the cylinder, outer surface of the cylinder, which are and it is positioned at an angle of 45 degrees to the longitudinal axis, and these strain gauges are connected in a circuit of V-stone bridges. Okay, in order to balancing of the resisting forces, the entire Wheatstone bridge is working on the principle of varying its resistance through whenever the varying of resistance, uh, obviously proportionality the voltage of our output in the Wheatstone bridges has been produced is obtained by uh, for the for the observation, and then next and the next one more is slip gauges, slip rings are. Suppose at the same time, with the help of the strain gauges also, we are just to furthermore addition of slip rings as well as the brushes. Okay, so here some brushes are connected to the here some brushes are connected to the strain gauges to the uh, shaft. Okay, what does it mean by strain gauge or slip rings? Slip rings is nothing but hollow cylinder rings are, okay. Some rings are which are positioned at in a over the shaft here. Okay, suppose these four elements we can call it as the slip rings. Okay, we just place it over the surface of the shaft, and then later these slip rings are connected to a brushes. Okay, brushes, brushes nothing but some cables. Okay, in order to communication purpose, they just we are attaching some kind of cables here. Whenever due to the application of the torque, due to the disturbance or displacement uh, observed by the shaft, it may leads to the break the contact between the slip rings and the brushes, slip rings and the brushes. Okay, so whenever this is contact has broken, and this leads to some kind of a resistance, the variation of voltage output. Okay, so due to the output you can measure the how much the torque is applied. And this one also, strain gauge is torque transducer with beams in bending. So here we have here a shaft here, over the shaft here one more, we just place it here one sleeve here. Okay, and the sleeve, whatever the we can consider it as a input shaft. Okay, what are the shaft, we can consider it as the output shaft, what are the displacement has been given to the sleeve here. Okay, and then later the output shaft we can obtain. Okay, so here we have the two beams here, which are connected with this two strain gauges are. Okay, two strain gauges over the end of the beams. Okay, here also. So whenever we just obtain some kind of displacement to our torque. Okay, uh, okay, in the situation we just I'm telling that the only displacement. Why? Because the how do we obtain displacement? Either by applying a force, either by applying a torque. If the force is applied, obviously there will be a chance of getting torque. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just telling the displacement here. Okay, and the next one is the beam with strain gauges. In the situation of beam with strain gauges, the we have a two beams here, and over the two ends of the beams we have a strain gauges are there. So whenever the measurement has been whenever the obstruction, oh sorry, disturbance of the movement is nothing but is the body willing to change its position. Okay, whenever the disturbance of the movement are due to which is observed by the strain gauges, and these strain gauges are the connected to this some voltage outputs. Okay, and the next torque measurement using torsion bars. Torsion bars is nothing but we have some we have a two here, the two primary windings here. Here we have stationary portion, and the next one is the rotational portion. So here auxiliary supply, we can nothing but the stationary portion. We have two windings here. First one is the stationary and second one is the rotational portion, so which may be tends to rotate. Okay, and then next in between the we have just attaching, additionally we have attached two more cylinders here, two more windings here. So which one is the first one is the amplifier and demodulator, and the next one which is connected to the bridge excitation nothing but the V-stone bridges. Okay, so and all these are the connected with, look like as a transformer. So wherever the transformer has there, definitely there will be a electromagnetic induction principle as there. Okay, due to the electromagnetic induction principle, whenever the exciting the primary coil, obviously there will be chance of getting excitation or EMF induced in the secondary coil. Okay, uh, so secondary coil, due to the secondary coil which will lead to the excitation nothing but the uh, power supply to the, okay, power supply to the V-stone bridges. Power supply to the V-stone bridge. Whenever we power supply the V-stone bridges, this obviously there will be some kind of strain gauges, sir. So strain gauges is nothing but some kind of resistance, sir. Okay, here only we are considering the strain gauges as a resistors. So obviously there will be a resistors here. So whenever the resistance, the variation of resistance is which is caused by the observation of displacement disturbance to the strain gauges. Okay, whenever the strain gauges observed any kind of a displacement, any kind of a disturbance which will lead to the variation of resistance of a temperature, variation of resistance of a resistors. So in case of the variation of resistance which leads to the some kind of voltage output here. So the variation of voltage output uh, we can consider it as a uh, output of the entire circuit, and then later we just conversion the standards into the standards, non-contacting type strain gauge torque transducer. Okay, so here also we have one more torsion bar torque transducer. We have two coils here. First one is the primary coil and the secondary coil. So here also, so we have a shaft here, and over the one more sleeve is attached, and a shaft, a plate. Okay, a container plate, electrodynamic semiconductor type plate has been attached or positioned, which is exactly opposite to the light source. Okay, position exactly opposite to the light source. Okay, whenever the light source emitting the lighting energy, lighting frequency, which will leads to the it will allows to the plate has allows to the this light through a hole. Whenever it obstructs the light energy, it will reflects to the sensor, which reflects to the light source or sensor, which records the with the frequency of the what is the supplying frequency energy, and then later what are the returning is nothing but the feedback frequency of the light source. Okay, so due to these measure recordings of these two, due to the recordings of these two, we just by difference we get, by we can get we could get differentiation. So due to the difference, how much the flat plate Okay, how much the flat plate which is moving with it. And the next one is the optical method. So here optical method also, as per just look at a diagram of this one. This is the laser optical torque measurement here. Okay, we have a shaft here which tends to rotation. Okay, and either may be clockwise direction, either may be anti-clockwise direction. So we have the two flanges are the flanges are which is nothing but the two wheels. Okay, two wheels are there. Two wheels are positioned at a distance of some x. Okay, so and then followed by the some laser transmitter and the receiver. Okay, here also optical method shows a typical top bar system using a optical method for deflection measurements. Okay, so which optical torsion bar system used for the optical method of deflection measurements nothing but the suppose I just impose a light energy over the surface plate over the plate here. Okay, and after striking the surface, the light energy will getting reflect like this one. Okay, okay, deflecting. So how much it deflects, how much angle which it can deflect, how by the through the help of deflection, how do we measure the which velocity the body will move. Okay, in here also, owing to the transmission of torque, the two disc 1 and 2 are mounted as a diameter of the at a distance of L on the shaft move relative to each other through an angle theta. The angle theta is recorded by the observer. Okay. So what I said is what as I said that. So here only just we are getting some deflection, uh, and then here through the deflection, we just the observer here the third party human being will what are the willing to operate, what are the willing to who was the willing to operate or who was the tendency to measure the torque. So he observed the what is the deflection angle, and which he is recording the what is the deflection angle. Okay, so here also how does it works. So here optical method, laser optic method. So here the laser optic method, the system consists of two black and white stripped wheels that are mounted at the either end of the rotating shaft. Okay, so black and white stripped wheels are here. Though we just providing here two wheels, black and white stripped. We just adding here some painting here. Some painting nothing but some attaching some stickers. Okay, stickers we can call it as stickers or you can call it as strips. Strips is nothing but just in order to observe the variation of the colors, observe the variation of the frequency. Okay, so here also the system contains of two black and white stripped wheels that are mounted on a at either end of the rotating shaft. Okay, the black strips on the wheels are arranged in a line. Okay, when the black strips are on the strips arranged in a line when no torque is applied to the shaft. Okay, and then later the light from the laser diode light source is directed by a pair of fiber optic cables onto the wheels. So here we just placing one more light, laser diode light. Laser diode source is directed by the pair of fiber optic cables onto the wheels. The rotation of the wheel causes pulses of reflected light. Okay, these are transmitted back to receiver by second pair of fiber optic cables when no torque is applied. The two pulse trains are reflected are in phase with each other. Okay, if the torque is now applied to the shaft, the reflector light is modulated, and the measurement of magnitude of torque is calculated as the amount of phase difference between the reflected pulse strands from the observer. So it's nothing but the we have a shaft here. Initially, just to trying to understand what I'm trying to say. Just initially we have a shaft here, and over the shaft we have a two poles here, two wheels are there. So and these wheels are providing by some black and white strips are there in order to observe the fluctuating frequency. Okay, whenever we have a two elements here, first one the light laser transmitter, and then second one is the receiver. Okay, okay, we have two transmitters here, two elements. First one the light transmitter, laser transmitter. Okay, and the second one is the receiver. So when in here also initially, whenever no torque is there, whenever the no torque, there is no movement as there, movement is there. In this situation, the what are the light energy which are emitting from the laser transmitter, which are directly imposed. Okay, which are directly striking the wheel of the left wheel, uh, and then reflected to the receiver, obviously, which are connected by the through cables here, optical fibers, nothing but the some kind of cables which are connected to the communication purpose. Okay, here also uh, we have a so here also what we consider is, so here the well the motion of the rotation, while the movement of the rotation of the shaft, the wheels are getting some releasing some kind of what we call some kind of lighting energy which are reflected by the receiver. Okay, so here the initially here the one common mistake is there. Actually, laser transmitter, we have a two elements, laser transmitter as well as the receiver here. So in case of laser transmitter, the which are the laser transmitter which are tends to release the light energy from laser transmitter over the surface of the wheels, and which are getting reflected to the receiver. Okay, and then next the same time, this laser is a transmitter also sends the relays to the arrays or lighting energies to the over the wheel of the bee. Okay, and which are reflected back to the receiver. So we have the two frequencies are there. Okay, first one is the uh, initially at the initially it is at the stable position. We have here at the stable position we have here no displacement. Okay, after the application of load, after the application of torque over the left hand side, obviously there will be some kind of the angular displacement are there. Okay, so due to the angular displacement which will tends to already which may disturbs the frequency of the what are the amount of what are the energy which are transmitted, or what are the energy which are emitted over the plate, disturbed, if some kind of disturbance are there, uh, some kind of disturbance are there. So what are the disturbance occurred where it is which is observed or recorded by the receiver here. Okay, so we have initially we have some frequency. Okay, after the getting displacement we have another frequency. Okay, so what and then later we just analyze what is the difference between these two frequency, and due to these two frequency, we just measure how much a torque has been applied. Okay, here also. And the next proximate sensor method. So here we are just adding an arrangement of using toothed wheels. Okay, a proximate sensor, you show figure 2.58. So here also, here only we just consider two proximate sensors there. Actually, initially, these two are the same. Whether it is laser optical torque measurement or the proximate sensor or for torque measurement, or these two scenarios are the same. But the main condition is there. Here we just using some kind of sensors here, and the proximate sensors. Proximate sensors nothing but the uh, we just kind of light energy also, but there's some kind of deviation between what is the relation between it is a is a frequency based. Here is not the frequency based. Okay, the laser transmitter receiver here. Okay, here the only two proximate sensors here. So what is the purpose of proximate sensors? Nothing but the two identical toothed wheels are fixed on the shaft at a certain distance. Okay, the two proximate sensors produce output voltage of with the phase difference. Okay, proportional to the torque. Okay, output voltage. Alternatively, an arrangement of using photosis and the light source may be employed. light sources has been applied. So what does it mean by that? We have here two views, sir. On over the two views we have a strips, okay, black and white strips which are provided, okay, and then over the wheels we have a two proximate sensors are there. So whenever the shaft getting displacement, uh, the sensors which detects the displacement, okay, angular displacement. So this angle, due to the angular detection of angular displacement, due to the detection of change in variations, okay, so obviously there will be output here. Output is nothing but the voltage output here, okay, which sends the change in displacement, and which sends the feedback to the output devices. So where the some kind of phase difference nothing but the whether it may be phase neutral, whether it may be or positive, okay, plus or minus step. Through through the movement of the output, through the movement of the displacement. Here we are just considering it as a some kind of which sense the which is the displacement of the sensors by sensors, okay, sense by the sensors, which sensors are sends to the signals to the output here, okay. The next one is the stroboscope method. So here also 2.59 figure 2.59, okay, stroboscope for torque measurement. Here the initially we have a two ways are there. Here anywhere we have a just placing it two ways on the what are the shaft being measured for the torque measurement. Okay, yeah, or the flange A, flange B. So flange A we have a scale here, and flange B we have a marker. Okay, sorry, we can have a pointer here. Okay, uh, and then next we have some kind of stroboscope. Stroboscope is nothing but we have a mark here, and just we need to mark here, and which is marked by which is observed by the stroboscope is nothing but some light emitting device. Okay, so here also, so when the torque is applied on the shaft, it causes angular displacement of the pointer related to scale due to the angular twist. Though okay, the deflection of the shaft may be read off directly when the shaft is stationary. Okay, however, it is not possible if the shaft is rotating. Okay, in such cases, stroboscopes is used. The flashing light of the stroboscope is applied onto the scale, and the lighting frequency adjusted till stationary image is obtained. Okay, okay. Initially, the scale is rotating. Reading can now be taken for the measurement, measuring the angular twist. So the method of simple response, however, the accuracy of measurement is poor. Okay, so here also first we need to just make so in order to maintain a stable image up to until unless we are getting a stable image from the stroboscope, there's some measurements, some kind of deviations are there, some kind of arrangements are there. So in order to stable image, okay, stable image is nothing but the, so what are the image of here the stroboscope is nothing but a projector type, okay, a micro level projecting type. So whenever the displacement has been occurred by the displacement as observed by the shaft, obviously there will be angular displacement here. So this angular displacement which is recorded by the scale here, okay. So up to how much the deviation has occurred, which is obtained by stroboscope microscope. It's nothing but the stroboscope is nothing but a microscope. Okay, so even the very small deviations also we can measure, but it can be some what is the accuracy, it may be poor by using this stroboscope. Okay, here also magnetostrictive method. Magnetostriction is an effect which occurs in a ferromagnetic materials such as steel. Ferromagnetic materials, any ferro is nothing iron. Any iron materials which are tending to magnetic property, we can call it as the ferromagnetic property materials, such as steels, where the magnetic permeability is affected by stress. The maximum shear stress tau occurs at the surface of the shaft is given by tau equals to capital T R by J. J you can call it as the J polar moment of inertia. Okay, pi d per 432. Okay, so here that magnetostrictive method. The T is the torque, R is the radius of the shaft. The above equation shows that the stress in the shaft is proportional to the applied torque, obviously. it follows that the torque must change the permeability of the shaft. Permeability is nothing but what is the amount of this uh, conductive capacitance, okay, proportional to the applied torque, and it is follows the torque must change the permeability of the shaft if it is made of magnetic materials such as steel. Permeability decreases with the strain and increase in the magnetic strain. The effect is small, but it can be measured by the arrangement of shown. Okay, the torque sensor consists of two pairs of stationary coils, and which is nothing but the in acting one acting one acting as a primary coil, and the second other is so here also what we trying to say is we have a one shaft here, and over the shaft we have a two one kind of a magnetism is there. So north pole, south pole. Okay, primary coil and secondary coil. Okay, we have a two coils, and these two coils are excited by individual. So individual, how do we excite it? So it's nothing but the uh, we have a primary coil here. Okay, and this primary coil which is excited by AC current, AC supply voltage. Okay, so due to the whenever obviously there will be secondary coil which are excited by a which are some some which is what the voltage produced in the secondary coil which is recorded by the or proportional to the what are the displacement has observed by the shaft. Okay, this is the magneto sective transition. So nothing but the over the shaft, what are the shaft being measured, what are the shaft getting, and some thought of torque, and we have a two coils here, primary coil and the secondary coil. We just initially we just exciting the primary coil, and then later what are the uh, influence, what are the impact which is our impact of displacement. Okay, what are the impact of displacement of shaft as observed or recorded by the secondary coil. It's nothing but the how do we measure, how do they measure while in the movement of the shaft, which will leads to some kind of EMF cuts the magnetic flux. Okay, cuts the magnetic flux. Due to cutting the cutting the magnetic flux, obviously there will be chance of getting producing EMF in the secondary coil. So this EMF is the uh, recorded by the or measured by the some kind of voltmeter here. Observe. Okay, through the we can measure the stroboscope. Sorry, magnetostrictive transducer. So what are the main measuring device? Problems with this type of torque measuring devices are inhomogeneity of the shaft material. There is not a homogeneous property. Sensitivity to changes the sensors or shaft gap or thermal effects or variation in sensor output due to change in shaft rotation speed. So we will discuss in the later, okay, remaining concepts.